Hi, Feng Shui fans. Welcome back. Jacqui Pepper here to discuss a little bit about Chinese astrology. I'll be doing so the next several weeks, so follow along if it's a topic of interest. Right now, I wanted to talk a little bit about the metal season or the metal element season in Chinese astrology. So, Chinese astrology, Chinese medicine, and Feng Shui all deal with the five elements. Right now, we're going to be discussing the metal element season. It started August 7th and it goes until November 7th, where we'll be discussing a little bit more. Today, I'd like to share a little bit about what does that mean for your emotions or characteristics of metal. So if you were born between the dates of August 7th and November 7th, you may have some of these characteristics in your Chinese astrology chart. So when we're talking about metal, and metal has many things connected to it, I wanted to share a little bit from my teacher's book. So this is Raphael Simon's book, one of my Feng Shui mentors and masters, and he says it best. I'll share a little bit about that. So if you were born between those dates, August 7th and November 7th, your personality or characteristics may display as orderliness, firmness, decisiveness, organizational and leadership abilities, the ability to control, practicality, creativity, courage, daring, and discipline. Let me explain a little bit about the metal element personality. You're going to have two sides of the same coin. When we're in a balanced state, metal brings off the personality or the characteristics of being orderly, a creature of habit, structure. You're a conduit. You love connecting others. Metal can be malleable and connected to create electricity, and think of how much it does, right? Well, same with the personality. When we're looking at the flip side of metal, and we might be in an imbalanced state, what can come up during this time is grief or regret. So we may notice during this time of the year that we do look back on things a little bit more. I think that makes sense. We're coming to the last, let's say, quarter of the year, and it is a time when we look back. How'd we do? Where are we with things? So looking back at the grief and possibly regret that you may have, it's a message to the body about looking deeper at that point. Go a little deeper. What am I grieving? What am I regretting? Also notice, and I'll go a little bit more into the body, but just for today, that the lungs are connected to metal. And at the very end of our lungs, we have a tiny lobe kind of channel that collects things. If we're not breathing deeply, which we don't do in America, and really get to those inner lobes of the lung. We want to really look deep. What is happening with my body? What is happening with the grief? So everything is a message. As inner, so outer. That's why we work on the feng shui of things. We want the outer to mirror what we'd like the inner to be doing, and vice versa. So metal season is a wonderful time. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the characteristics and the personalities. I hope that helps, and I hope it allows you to accept both sides of yourself, as we are never one thing. So if we were looking at the symbol of metal in Chinese, this is what it would look like. It's a beautiful character, calligraphy strokes, and think of metal this time of year, and how can you go a little deeper with yourself? Thanks so much for being with me today. Jacqui Pepper, Feng Shui consultant and health coach.